Okay, I'll call our meeting to order. My name is Kay Leach, and I'm serving as the current chair for the Board of Health. With me today are board members. If you'd show your hand when I call your name. Dr. Bob Rand.
Yep.
Steve Pritchard.
Hello.
Martin Arell.
Here.
George Hegeman.
Aye.
Ashley Cranner. Carol Talukian. And Penny Caldwell, our administrator.
Yes.
And with us also, we have our legal representative, Margie Rice.
Hello.
Hi, Margie. We can't see you, but we hear you.
Yeah, I'm at my office and my computer's on the docking station, so no camera right now.
Okay. Our attention of the Security Pro contract. Penny or Margie,
Sure, I
want to
can
say
mention it,
anything
and if
about
Margie
the
wants to
contract?
add something. And you signed an agreement as well as the commissioner signed an agreement with Security Pro. Honestly, just checking on retail food establishments and businesses regarding compliance and to provide education and masks to individuals and to assist businesses in gaining compliance when they might be having difficulty. And it's been a success. We've gotten good feedback. I know even today we had staff who were talking with businesses who had been visited, and there were some questions that came up and they needed to provide some follow-up, but the businesses were still very grateful for the visit and the opportunity to talk with them and to get the help from those compliance officers. So it was slated to end mid-December originally with a cap of $25,000. We talked with the commissioners, and this would extend it through January with a total cap of $50,000, not to exceed. And it really just allows us then as well to expand into other retail establishments. So to assist other businesses, places that, again, we get complaints on, we follow up, but to also have them go out and kind of monitor for a while and assist those businesses. So we would encourage you and hope that you would be willing to sign this agreement as well.
May I ask a question, Penny? You say $50,000 is what we're paying for these services? Not
to exceed. So it's $50 an hour for the services, but it is a not to exceed amount.
This goes through the end of January, right?
Yes, through the end of January. So essentially it doubles the length of time and doubles the initial amount that was to cover.
How many people is it covering for, Penn?
Typically they have 4 out. Let's see, I've got to go back and look because I know at one time we talked about 6, but I believe that there are 4 individuals out and they've been willing to go at any time that we need them. Some of the businesses are closed so that they've went, and then when they've went to those in the evening, the business is already closed. So being able to even have them go during the day on different days, we started with kind of a Thursday through Saturday approach. Again, trying to get those weekends when we were concerned about late night activities and compliance. And I think that we've made an impact there that will continue, but we can expand and offer that service to other locations at other times.
How many hours are they averaging, or have they done for the contract? Or I'm sure you have something.
Yeah, they were scheduled originally from 9 to 3. So 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. Then we kind of pushed that back a little bit where they started a little earlier and ended earlier, especially, for instance, right now we have bars and restaurants closing at 1 a.m. so they don't need to be out. But it's that roughly 6 hours, 4 days a week.
Okay. Well, it's been very helpful.
As I said, the businesses have indicated that they appreciate it, and it certainly is helpful to the staff.
Margie, is there anything you want to add?
No, I think that Penny covered it. I would encourage the board to support this. The Board of Commissioners have already approved it. And I can see situations, every day, Penny deals with, and her staff deal with other situations where they could always use an extra helping hand, whether it be, again, retail shops or gyms. So I would certainly encourage you to support this to give the health department the extra help.
Any other discussion with board members?
Just a question, are there any other associated expenses that are being paid for as part of this contract that are like equipment or things like that? Separate from the hourly?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Do I hear a motion?
I move that we accept the contract as Penny proposed.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Let's call for a vote. Okay, Ashley? Ashley, you're muted.
I'm muted. I'm sorry. Yes, yes, very much so. Yes.
Okay, George?
Aye.
Mark?
I vote yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
And I vote yes. The motion carries.
Thank
Good
you.
job, Penny.
Thank you.
Benny, do you want to say anything about the governor's executive order before we dismiss?
Sure, I have just a couple sort of hot off the press updates. One obviously is that Governor Holcomb announced yesterday some changes to his executive order. We are still waiting for the very specific details. We haven't heard, we haven't seen the order. So what we do have is information on that. What really affects us, as you know, the state set caps on gathering sizes based on the color-coded map. And we've been lower than the state all along. We still currently are lower than the state. So we are in orange, and that would be a cap of 50 people. Our gathering size limit's 25. But what he did was say that there are no exemptions beyond his size limits. And honestly, I think some of that is listening from health departments who said, here's a number, but send in your exemption to the health department, which inundated health departments with exemptions. And given the status of the state, that portion I think makes sense. So we've already said that we were doing very few exemptions. We really would look at them very closely for extenuating circumstances. And so we've not been getting many requests. We've had one related to a funeral and some things like that, again, we're still making sure that they've got precautions in place if something like that is granted. So we are waiting for information from the state on anything that was approved prior to this order coming out, how that will be affected, and we don't have an answer to that at this time. So that's the main change that really will affect us. And again, our gathering size limit is at 25, not 50 at the moment anyway.
Is it going to be 25? That's what the governor wanted?
Well, no, the governor has it at 50 when you're in orange. So it's all related to that color-coded map. So if you're orange, his limit is 50. And we've been below the state from the beginning. And so when we went to orange, that was one of the things that Dr. Sharp put in place, was just to lower our gathering limit as kind of a response to our increasing numbers. So we already had it at 25, so we're lower than the state already. If we go to red in terms of the color-coded map, then it's possible that we may the state number would be 25, and it's possible Dr. Sharp may see that it makes sense to lower that to 12 or 15.
Penny, it's my understanding we can go below what the governor wishes, but we can't go above it. Isn't that true?
That is correct. And this is really the first time through this that he has said that we cannot do something. So it's very clear that we cannot allow an exemption that is over his cap.
Any board member comments?
I have a quick question about an unrelated item.
Okay.
Monitoring RNA, COVID-19 RNA in wastewater streams is an important leading indicator of the rate of infection because asymptomatic people apparently shed quite a bit of RNA and it hits the wastewater stream pretty quickly. I understand that City of Bloomington Utilities is monitoring some wastewater streams. Can you share with us how to find any kind of results or interpret their results if they're available so that we might know what's going on?
Certainly, I don't have a lot of detail, but that was an exciting thing. Vic Kelson called me early on and said, we have this opportunity, and they were interested in doing some monitoring. They got a grant to do some monitoring of the water. And I think that report is due out in the next week or 2 weeks. So at that time, it should be public. Vic did come on, I think, one of our press conferences. I believe that he joined when we kind of first started that and talked about it just a little bit. But the City of Utilities has been doing some monitoring, and we've seen, we saw kind of an uptick in a couple weeks. I don't think that there's been anything significant that's been reported in the last few weeks, which is kind of interesting since we've had this rise in cases. But the mayor mentioned earlier this week that I think that report is due out, I think the end of next week, if I understood that correctly.
Thank you, Penny.
Any other board concerns or comments? I want to thank Penny and Mark for wordsmithing on our strategic plan. I thought they made a brilliant change. So thank you, both of you.
Well, thanks. And, I appreciate Mark's input as well. And, sometimes you just need that extra conversation. And I think we narrowed it down to make sense and be very measured and approached and wise for where we are at the moment. And we can always move faster than the dates that we set. But it's, I think, reasonable timing considering the situation that we're in at the moment. And the only other thing that I would add is our Morton Street testing site is up, it's open. Staffing is there, they're anxious to take people. We've started taking walk-ins, and I think I just sent to you, and we've sent out to our partners a revised holiday here. The only holiday was Day and New. We do encourage people to go to that Street site. It is still the fastest way to get do that registration completely there. It will help you out. They will see results as well. They are seeing about the people coming into the clinic are people who need to be tested. And I think that that's important to know.
Penny, is the Optum Clinic still working?
The Optum Clinic is still open. They are still very busy as well. And the state has extended their contract through January. So we've got options in town for testing. Please, if you need to be tested, please do so. And I think that those were my things that I wanted to add as updates.
Penny, do you know when our next board meeting is?
It was January 5th, I believe, the
Okay,
first.
I kind of wasn't sure.
We wanted to, are we approving our strategic plan, or that's at that meeting?
Yes,
Yes, okay.
January 5th at 4 o'clock is what I have.
yes.
Okay, Nicole is at the bottom of the screen. It's January 5th at 4. Okay, anybody else have any concerns or comments?
Oh, I have one thing. We have, and I think I mentioned this to you in an email, but we have filled our financial manager position. Jamie, who works with us in Vital Records, she's kind of doing double duty at the moment, but she is transitioning into that position and still maintaining Vital Records position. We have posted the position she'll be vacating and are starting to look at those candidates. I think we have some really good candidates already coming in, and we're starting those interviews. On a sad note, my administrative assistant is going to be taking on a new challenge in 2021, and so we have posted that position. Things just keep on changing, but we're moving along.
Well, congratulations to Jamie, and we'll miss Ashley.
We sure will. She will be at our January meeting.
Okay, anything else? Steve, did you have something to say? Your box lit up.
No, I just cleared my throat. I'm not muted. Sorry.
No problem. Okay, we are adjourned. Thanks,
you.
everybody.
Nice Christmas, everyone.